Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So 2024 was certainly the year where zero torque putters really found their place in the world of golf, and no company really rode that wave better than LAB Golf. If you're looking to possibly get into a zero torque putter in 2025, there's a very good chance that you're going to be looking at one of these three putters from LAB: the DF2.1, the DF3, and the OZ1.i. And in this video, I'm going to explain the similarities and the differences between all of these putters. What do they have in common? What makes them different? What sets them apart? And which one of these putters might be best suited for you based on what you need to hold more putts? So let's get into it. Okay, so I'm going to start out with the DF2.1, DF standing for directed force, which was the original sort of concept behind LAB putters. And there's no getting around the fact that this thing is absolutely enormous. When you set it down behind a golf ball, it dwarfs the ball in a way that very few putters in the world have ever done it before. But at the heart of this putter is a technology that runs through all of LAB's putters that's really important for you to understand, and that's called lie angle balance. Again, that's what LAB stands for. Lie angle balance means that the way that this putter is weighted and the way that it is balanced, it works very, very hard to make sure that the face of this putter and the hitting surface stays square to the path of your putting stroke throughout the entire length of your stroke. If there is a common misconception about lie angle balance, it's that some people out there think that LAB putters are going to keep the face square to your target line the entire way through your putting stroke. That's not accurate. LAB putters are designed to keep the face square to the path of your putting stroke the entire time, not to the target line. So if my path naturally goes slightly to the inside, the face here is square to that path, which naturally then means it's going to look like it points to the right, and that's true. But then when you make your downswing, you come through, the face is going to remain square to that path. The path then comes right back to the golf ball. It's going right down the target line there. And as I go ahead and make my stroke, it's then going to look like it's pointed off slightly to the left because, again, it is. So regardless of whether you naturally make a relatively straight putting stroke or you have a strongly arced putting stroke or something in the middle, as long as you don't do something to manipulate this putter and the face, if you just simply let it swing, this putter wants to keep the face square to the path that you're creating. And that's a very unique system within the world of golf. And it's one of the reasons why a lot of people find success with LAB style putters. Now, from a construction standpoint, this is a massive piece of milled 6061 aircraft grade aluminum. You could not have something that's this big and have it be made out of stainless steel. It would be almost unswingable. You'll also notice that there are a series of weights that are here in the center of the sole, as well as one in the heel and another in the toe. When you go through the fitting process with LAB, depending on exactly the length of the putter, the lie angle of the putter, these weights are interchangeable in the factory so that they can create that lie angle balance. And it's one of the reasons why in some cases it takes a little while to get a LAB putter created and made. They're not just simply, created off of an assembly line and shipped right away. Each one in some ways almost has to be tuned like an instrument in order to perform its best. Through its custom fitting options, you can have any number of different style of alignment aids that are put onto this putter, as well as different types of shafts, whether it be a steel shaft or a graphite shaft. This putter is going to come standard, however, with a press pistol 2 grip, which is going to create a natural forward press when you set the golf club down behind the golf ball. So as you can see, when you do look down at the golf ball, you're going to see it very, very clearly because there's a significant amount of what's referred to as onset. Onset means that the face of the putter, the face of the golf club, is pressed forward ahead of the shaft. In many putters, you're going to have the shaft come down and then go. There'll be a hosel mechanism that then goes down. For example, a plumber's neck or sometimes a single bend or even a double bend neck, you're going to have what is referred to as offset. The face is going to be behind the shaft. This one is just the opposite. You have onset, where the face is in front of or towards the target side of where the shaft enters. It can be a little bit off-putting for some people at first, but I think it's, for most people, something you get used to very, very quickly. So as you can imagine, if there was a knock against the DF2, it's that it was just too unconventional looking, too large for a lot of players. And so LAB came out with this putter at the beginning of 2024. This is the DF3 putter. The DF3, from a shape standpoint, is very similar to the original DF2. However, everything is shrunken down. It's more compact. So if you're a golfer who just couldn't get over the looks and the unconventionality of the DF2, but you like the idea and the concept of it, the DF3 could be a lot more appealing. And this is the putter that I think in 2024 really sort of supercharged a lot of what LAB golf was all about. This one became a lot more tolerable from a look standpoint for many golfers. Again, we're talking about a milled piece of 6061 aircraft grade aluminum, a series of weights on the sole, in this case, not out in the toe or in the heel section, that are going to help to create the balancing effect. You're still going to have the onset, you're still going to have the ability through custom order to get different type of alignment features put on here, and you're going to get the same press pistol 2-degree grip in the DF3 as well. The key thing to understand about the LAB DF2 as well as the DF3 is that they both have the same lie angle balance system, the weighting designed into them. That goes through all LAB putters. So it's not like you're really sacrificing the technology that made the DF2 so unique if you decide to go with the DF3. Well, the DF3 proved to be super successful for LAB. There were still going to be some players that were not really thrilled with the way this putter looked. And working with Adam Scott, who'd been playing with LAB putters for quite some time, LAB developed this putter. This is the LAB OZ1.i. Now, there are two different versions of the OZ1, the standard OZ1 as well as the OZ1.i. Both of them, from a shape standpoint, look pretty much identical in the address position. It's this semicircular mallet. Now we're getting into something much more traditional in shape. Many players have seen mallet-style putters that have this general shape before. But again, like I said with the DF2 and the DF3, the OZ1 and the OZ1.i still have lie angle balance. So from a technology standpoint, keeping the putter face square to your path as you make your stroke, regardless of what type of stroke you make, this putter has that technology sort of built into it. But we're starting to get into a multi-material construction when we get into the OZ1.i specifically. The body itself, all of this black material that you see here, is still going to be that aircraft grade 6061 aluminum. However, you'll notice this putter has an insert. In this case, it's 303 stainless steel, and it's been milled. So if you're a player who's coming from a traditional putter, a milled putter, perhaps a blade putter, or maybe even some of the different mallets that are out there that are milled, this putter is going to feel and sound much more similar to putters that you have used in the past, while still giving you the benefit of lie angle balance. Now, the OZ1 and the OZ1.i do come with a press pistol 2-degree grip. You can get them with other grips as well that do not have that built-in forward press. The shaft simply goes straight down in here, and you can get it fit with any number of different grips that you like. For example, this one came to me from LAB with a Super Stroke Pistol 1.0 grip, a much more conventional and popular type grip. And if you were changing putters and coming from something that doesn't have an especially oversized grip, or if there's a grip that you really like, and Super Stroke grips like this one are really popular, you can put this one into the OZ1 and the OZ1.i, whereas this type of grip and this type of system are really not available on the DF2 or the DF3. Now, one thing that I have noticed from having an opportunity to use all three of these putters, the DF2, the DF3, as well as the OZ1.i, is that the sound that they're going to make when you're making contact with a golf ball, when you're hitting putts, is going to be pretty different. Now, as you might suspect, with the OZ1.i and that 303 stainless steel insert, this putter is going to sound much more like a putter that you may have used in the past. Here you go. Very crisp sound. Sounds to me exactly like many putters that I've used in the past. Now, if I go ahead and I switch to the DF3 and I hit the same putt and I try and put in the same amount of force to it, have a listen. A little bit softer sound in that case. It comes off a little bit softer. It doesn't have quite as much of a clicking sound to my ear, which totally makes sense because we're going from 303 stainless steel now down to that aluminum. This one now, when we go into the DF2, I think has the most unique sound. And for some players, I gotta tell you, I think this could end up being a deal breaker. When you get into a putt with this, have a listen. To me, I immediately hear sort of a bell type sound. And I think a lot of that has to do with the construction and the shaping. There may be no avoiding it. This putter sounds very unique. And I think that that sort of bell tinging sound that you're gonna hear is not going to be really loved by a lot of players out there. At the same time, I think it's really important to remember that all three of these putters, the DF2, the DF3, and the OZ1.i, are going to have the key technology from LAB Golf incorporated into all of them. That's lie angle balance. They should all swing very, very similarly. And what you really want to do is try and think about what is the #1 priority for you, in addition to having the benefits of lie angle balance, that reduced torque on your stroke. If your #1 priority is going to be forgiveness, you want to have the most forgiving putter on mishits, the one one that's going to be the most autofocus, if you will, point and shoot kind of thing, then you're probably going to be looking at something like the DF2. This one will be the most forgiving putter in the LAB lineup on mishits simply because of its size. It's going to have the highest moment of inertia. It's going to resist twisting at impact because of a poor strike the most effectively. If you are somebody who is looking for a putter that's going to have the most traditional type shape, if you're someone who wants the feel of a traditional milled putter, then going with something like the OZ1.i with that 303 stainless steel insert and that traditional circular mallet style putter, look, this is going to be the one that will probably be the most attractive for you and probably could induce the most confidence when you're putting. If you're someone who is looking for the best of all worlds, you love the idea of the DF2, but you just can't stand the look of it, or you're not necessarily putting that much emphasis on forgiveness. You hit a little bit more consistently, and so you want a little bit more feel than maybe the DF2 is going to give you. The DF3, being smaller in size, but having many of the same playing styles, many of the same attributes of the DF2, but smaller, this one would probably be the putter that would be most appealing to you. So I think that's probably just about everything you need to know about the LAB DF2, DF3, as well as the OZ1.i putter. But if you do have some questions or if you have some feedback for me, please feel free to drop it in the comment area below. I do try and monitor my comments as best as I can and answer as many questions from people as I can as well. If you do have a question about putters, about zero torque, or about golf equipment in general, I'm also happy to answer those as well. If you did get some good information out of this video, if you did find it to be helpful, it'd be really great if you could smash that like button as well as subscribe to my channel. It helps me out tremendously. And thanks a lot, and I look forward to seeing you again real soon.